everybody. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the GCC Foundation, faculty, staff, and alumni, I do want to welcome you all to GCC's 46th commencement, the graduation of the great class of 2009. Before we do get started with the speeches and leading up to your walking across this stage and getting these diplomas, I would like to introduce to you the folks on the platform. From your left to right, Director of Advising, Larry Dean, Associate Dean, Peter Rosnick, Associate Dean, Kate Finnegan. Kate, I do want to take a moment to say thank you for stepping out of the classroom for a couple of years and providing leadership at the table. We know you're headed back to your first love, so we thank you for that. Next to Kate is our Chair of the Board of Trustees, Tim Farrell, and then John Murphy is over here. John is our Director of Central Services and overall platform grand poobah. Next to John is our Dean of Students, Terry Boyce. Terry, you also have made a decision to go ahead back to the classroom. We thank you for all of the leadership that you have provided in student affairs. And most of all, I want to say thank you for your fierce advocacy for our students. Next to Terry is David Ram. David is our Dean of Academics, and student trustee Brant Schlosser. Brant sits on the board as your representative. I'd also like to take this moment to say thank you to Merrill Sacken, John Markwell, Todd Berthiaume, Chrissy Manko, Karen Phillips, all of the commencement volunteers for making this day possible. So thank you to them. Honored students, colleagues, and guests, I do want to thank you for this opportunity to share in an event so meaningful to you. It is both an honor and a privilege. In just a few moments, you will walk across this stage and you will receive your GCC diploma. Good for you all. You have earned it. You have met all of the academic requirements established by the faculty and staff. You have overcome financial barriers, met your family responsibilities, and you have handled that stress and those demands. You have worked hard, and we are all very proud of your accomplishments. Not long ago, you came here not knowing what to expect. For many of you, GCC was your first visit to a college campus. For many others, you are the first in your family to attend and now graduate from college. In his book, Cape Cod, Henry David Thoreau writes about his walking over the dunes on what's now known as the National Seashore, and he comes across this hut for wayward sailors, and it had a very bad reputation for being quite violent, and he really didn't know what to expect inside of that hut. And as he got closer, he saw a little hole in the wall. And he peered inside that hole, and he wrote, "For the pupil shall be enlarged by looking. There never was so dark a night that patience and persistence will prevail." I don't think when he wrote that he was talking about this pupil looking in and how that pupil expands. I think he was talking about teaching and learning, and I think he was talking about each of you here today. Well, we applaud your persistence, your patience, and your hard work. We applaud with all of our heart the courage that you have demonstrated in the pursuit of a better life for yourselves and your families. Most of all, we applaud the active pursuit of your dreams. You have stepped into the unknown and you persevered. You have learned a great deal here at GCC. You have studied math, science, and the English language. You have learned how to be good teachers, nurses, police officers, firefighters, and have learned the healing touch of massage therapy. You can now communicate more effectively, think more critically, and solve problems more creatively. Graduates, you have learned more about other people, other cultures, and you have learned more about yourselves. You have discovered your voice and have developed the courage to express it. Most important, you have learned how to learn. Learning is not something that you do as a student in preparation for life. Learning is a way of life. Research suggests that you will change your job 13 to 15 times and change your career 8. Each new job, new career, new skill will demand change, and that change will require your learning. And in this economy, I can assure you that nothing will be more significant or more empowering than your ability to learn. But learning is not just for work. It is not just a tool for career success. Your ability to learn will make you a better parent, a more informed consumer, and a much more engaged and enlightened citizen. Learning is a process, a way of life that makes better people of us all. Some make great leaps of faith in religion. Others have comparable blind faith in science. For me, it is in education and in the process of learning that we will blaze a path to social and economic justice for all, and then finally, making world peace truly possible. It would be impossible to celebrate your achievements without recognizing all of those that have supported you along your journey. I ask that you first recognize your parents, grandparents, sons, daughters, partners, friends, who were with you even when you thought you were alone. So please stand, take a moment, and say thank you to those folks who have supported getting you here. And it would be impossible to think about your academic success and your learning without thinking about the passion, courage, commitment, professionalism of the GCC faculty and staff. It was your teachers, those in and out of the classroom that saw your potential often before you and then worked with you to gain the knowledge and skills necessary to achieve that potential. Graduates, I ask that you stand again and recognize and thank the heart and soul of this college, your teachers, the faculty and staff. "2009, what a year to graduate." Now, there's a pretty good chance that you will not remember today's speeches. I'm fairly sure that you will remember the party this afternoon. I am 100% certain, however, that you will always remember that you graduated from GCC in 2009, the year that Barack Obama became President of the United States of America. Think just for a minute. Think about the level of optimism and hope that prevailed the day of his inauguration. Hold on to that moment. The hope and the optimism that is born of the work of individuals and the power of community will be celebrated again in this great nation. I know that because you get it. You understand that the real promise of democracy is not as much about the services provided as it is about your level of service. The hope and promise of this president is that he gets it as well. And although the seeds of this economy were planted many years ago, 2009 was also the year of the Great Recession. What a year indeed. How many times this year have you heard of the Chinese symbol, that the Chinese symbol for crisis is also the symbol for opportunity, or some variation on that theme? Graduates, because it has the advantage of being true, I will add my voice to that chorus. This is the golden moment for you to make things better. If you want to see the world change for the better, then America must regain its status as a global citizen born of moral convictions. If our nation is to again achieve that status, then Massachusetts must remain united with intention. And if our commonwealth is to be a better place to live and work, then our communities must be fully engaged. If our communities are to develop economically as well as socially, then each of you must step up to the plate and make that change happen in your lives. Graduates, you must be the change that you want the world to embrace. I suggest 3 steps along that journey. 1, live within your means. 2, take stock. 3, hold fast your dreams. Number 1, live within your means. By all accounts, we are in the midst of the worst economy in 70 years. And although the data and key indicators suggest we are nowhere near the economic environment of the Great Depression, these are hard times. The 8% unemployment of today is significantly lower than the 24% of the 30s. But to those 8% and their families, it feels exactly the same today as it did to the families who suffered during the Great Depression. Our compassion and support are needed. I am confident that we will find our way out of this economic moment. We know the economy will recover. I trust that you feel the same. History teaches us that many good things will come from this recession. Many will create opportunity from this crisis. In his book, Pop, writer Daniel Gross points out that railroads and the technology boom are just two very good examples of major developments that occurred during very bad economic times. Will the so-called green technologies be the spark that revitalizes this economy? Will those two photovoltaic panels soon become laughable antiques because solar panels will become so small, so powerful, and so affordable that they become an integral part of our way of life? I suggest that this is not only possible, but that you will make that happen. But will we as a nation have learned anything at all? Will we look back to this moment, to this great recession, and see lessons learned? Or will we have missed this opportunity destined to repeat our missteps? Ladies and gentlemen, capitalism is not broken. It has just been mismanaged. Capitalism is but a vehicle. It is the drivers of that vehicle that determine the destination and the direction. If the drivers are greedy, then greed will be rewarded. It seems to me that beginning somewhere around 1980, our economic engine became less a vehicle in service to people and more of one in which people began serving the economy. Our economic system resembled a runaway train destined to derail. The gap between those that have wealth and those that do not grew to historical proportions. The top 20% of our nation's citizens accumulated 85% of our nation's wealth. Driven by the incredible power of Madison Avenue and the advertising industry, the only thing that trickled down was the illusion of wealth alongside the reality of great debt. Credit was flying around like turkey vultures. We went on an unprecedented shopping spree. That buying binge did stimulate the economy. Production increased dramatically. However, so did income disparity. Fewer people had fewer resources with which to buy homes, buy goods and services, or afford to go to college. The bubble had to burst, and so it did. We have in this moment a great opportunity to take control of that vehicle, to strengthen our economy and communities, and in doing so, we will be strengthening America. You can make that happen. You do have great economic power, and you have more than you probably realize. Why, for example, do you think that fast food numbers are down and organic and locally produced food sales are increasing? Hybrid cars, cell phones, laptops, you can impact the direction of our economic engine, and you must take some measure of control today. How? How can each of us under this tent impact the economy of our nation for the better? One answer is that we can all live within our means. A stronger economy is not always a bigger economy. By living within our means, we will lead the way for America to live within its means. By living within your means, you will save money for your future, and in doing so, you will be investing in the future of our nation. Number two, take stock. At an all-college meeting where we gather as a college community, not too long ago, we were discussing the many challenges and opportunities facing Greenfield Community College. Like each of you here today, GCC must face this moment and prepare for the future. We talked at that meeting about having a clear vision of where we wanted to get to and a plan describing how we would get there. It was in that discussion that Professor Sharon Roth raised her hand and said that it was her grandmother that taught her of the importance of stepping back for a moment to take stock. Well, Professor Roth's grandmother was absolutely correct. It is essential that every once in a while in our lives we step back from the day-to-day to take stock. Dear graduates, now is a good time, a perfect time to take stock. What does that mean, really? I know what a stock room is, and I understand the work of taking inventory. Taking stock in this instance, however, is not just about the canned goods in the kitchen cabinet. I am talking more about taking a snapshot, a black and white photo of who you are. What are your ideas? Not the ideas of Fox News, National Public Radio, Sarah Palin, or Nancy Pelosi. What are your core values and your core beliefs? Not your parents, your friends, your neighbors, but yours. What brings meaning and purpose to your life? Making art, writing poetry, science and medicine, creating new businesses, dance, mathematics, music, the healing arts. Who are the significant people in your life? Who are you now? Not who you were when you were growing up in the eyes of your family and friends, but who are you right now? That process of self-reflection takes time. Now, you don't need to quit your job and live out on Walden Pond to take stock, but do try and stop the noise for just a moment and then take an inventory of who you are. It is by taking stock today that you can begin a thoughtful journey to a more hopeful tomorrow. And number 3, hold fast your dreams. While there might be many positive outcomes and lessons learned from the Great Recession, the one most disconcerting outcome to me is the lowering of aspirations. Research tells us that during hard times, many people do lower their aspirations. They diminish their dreams, and they suffer from increasing hopelessness. Graduates of the class of 2009, you must not internalize this economic downturn. You must not recess your aspirations. You cannot depress your dreams. Hopelessness is taught. Hope, therefore, can be taught as well. You have a responsibility to your family, to your community, to yourself to pursue your dreams. And in the process, you are teaching hope. In the pursuit of your dreams, you are creating hope for others to pursue their dreams. Hope is not just a street name here in Greenfield. It is the emotional fuel that has the power to create a better tomorrow. The pursuit of your dreams will lift us all. So while the knee-jerk reaction to this economic crisis might be to duck and cover, you, dear graduates, will follow a better path, an empowering journey that elevates you, elevates your family, and will elevate this community. What are your dreams? What aspirations do you have? What dreams have you stored somewhere all too safe within your heart, held captive by your sleep? Let me tell you what we see in you. We see a nurse who will provide healing to those who suffer and compassion to those in distress. A teacher who will change lives for the better every day. An entrepreneur with just the right idea at the right moment for the right place. A farmer who will take over the family farm. A scientist who will help transition this nation from complete dependency on fossil fuel to the broader and more affordable access to sustainable and reusable energy. A parent whose child will grow and develop with the support and guidance of a college graduate. A poet and writer eager to build a writing shack with the ambition of writing just for the pleasure of writing. An elected official off to Washington, Boston, or Town Hall, passionate about economic and social justice for all. A community college president, lawyer, accountant, police officer, community organizer, musician, professor, banker, and artist, and. Dear graduates, we see your dreams and we see them fulfilled. Take stock, live within your means, and hold fast your dreams. If you want America's economic engine back on the track, then become an informed and engaged consumer and live within your means. Help drive our economy beyond recovery to a sustainable one that serves all of our nation's citizens. Stop the noise for just a moment and take stock of who you are. By clarifying your core values and beliefs, you will have a stronger foundation on which to build a more hopeful tomorrow. And although it was Langston Hughes that first wrote, "Hold fast your dreams," it is the words of Henry David Thoreau that I would like to leave you with. He wrote that I have learned that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours. Dear graduates, go in the direction of your dreams and live a life that you will imagine. Hold fast your dreams, for in doing so, you will lift our nation. To the great class of 2009, congratulations on your achievements, and we wish you all Godspeed. Out of the mud, two strangers came and caught me splitting wood in the yard. Those are the opening two lines of Robert Frost's Two Tramps at Mud Time. It is a poem that talks about work, about life, and about the merging of love and need and work. It is not just that Larry Dean has worked here at GCC for just under 30 years. It's not just about all that he has done as a director of financial aid or registrar, assistant dean of academic affairs, transfer coordinator, dean of student affairs, president, or most recently director of the advising center. Nor is it just about all of Larry's collaborative accomplishments like the NIAS self-study, our principles of education, the GCC governance structure, or the statement on academic advising. It is more about how Larry went about his day-to-day business. Larry Dean was a world-class rower. He was a member of a crew, one of 8, all working together and in the same direction. No single sculler was he. No ego, just hard work. Larry was never one to look for credit, yet always the one to volunteer for the work that was needed. From the big ideas to the most seemingly minor of details, it was Larry that was called upon to join the committees and help organize the effort. Frost concludes, "But yield who will to their separation, my object in living is to unite my avocation and my vocation as my two eyes make one in sight. Only where love and need are one and the work is play for mortal stakes is the deed ever really done for heaven and the future's sakes." For all of his years of experience, the positions he held, or even his numerous accomplishments, Larry's true legacy here at GCC will be the way in which he rode as a member of a crew, merging love and need as one. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce a colleague and friend, Larry Dean.
Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, graduates. And welcome to your families and friends, our Greenfield Community College faculty, staff, and trustees, and all others who have joined us today to celebrate your achievements in earning your degrees and certificates. I am privileged to have this role in your commencement. Look up. Look up. What do you see? I imagine each of you sees something a little different from one another. Perhaps your views differ in part because of your programs of study here at GCC. An artist might see a perspective point where these center poles meet the fabric, a vanishing point leading to infinity and raising philosophical questions such as, who are we and where are we going? An engineer might see fabric supported by poles held by the tension of straps, an interwoven structure where each component individually supports one another and yet works together as a whole. An outdoor leader might see a weak structural design, yet at the same time a flexible and resilient fabric guide and tethered securely to the ground. A poet might see her childhood at the circus, looking upward, engaging all of her senses, hearing the sounds of the circus, smelling and tasting the cotton candy, becoming a child again beneath this canopy above us. Whatever you see is based on your understanding of the world around you, your way of seeing, the accumulation of your education and experiences here at GCC and elsewhere. I want to add just a little something to the way you see this structure that covers us. When we look up, all but the youngest among us will recognize a tent, a temporary shelter, erected for this special occasion today to protect us from the elements of nature, particularly sun and rain. I suspect most of us take this temporary shelter for granted. Oh, sure, we may have admired its graceful lines as we drove by on Coleraine Road or as we approached on College Drive. Certainly a temporary shelter of such grand proportions signifies a special occasion. A wedding, perhaps, or a festival, or, as in our case, a commencement. But it is still just a temporary shelter that will be taken down in the coming week. I suggest that it deserves a little more of our attention than we might typically give it. Let me tell you just a little of what I've learned about this particular tent. Our tent was made by Eureka, a company that began in Binghamton, New York in the late 19th century, where it remains to this day. Eureka first produced Conestoga wagon covers and horse blankets, along with store awnings and American flags and camping tents. This particular model is the Evolution ES, called a tension pole tent by those who know. The company we rented the tent from for $13,000 is Tents for Rent. It's on the back of all of the chairs, you'll see. Located in Webster, Massachusetts, about an hour and a half southeast of Greenfield. The company has been owned and operated for more than 30 years by Ron Zemetra, whose only son, Joe, has worked alongside him for as long as Joe can remember. Ron and Joe worked with a fabric engineer and others through a series of products to revamp the tent style, to make it more efficient for installation and use, more attractive in sight lines and aesthetics, and more stable in the wind. The tent is made of Snyder 16-ounce, flame retardant, mildew resistant, blockout vinyl laminate fabric. The two end sections on either end are 100 by 30 feet and weigh about 600 pounds each. The two middle sections here are 100 by 40 feet and weigh about 700 pounds each. Laced together, these sections cover an area 100 by 140 feet with 2,600 pounds of fabric. The fabric is supported by these 6 36-foot center poles and 46 10-foot side poles. The tension is maintained by 72 web straps held by 216 steel stakes driven through 3-hole steel stake bars and tightened by ratchets. The fabric is cleaned using 2,000-pound capacity washing machines and hung to dry on huge clotheslines inside the facility in Webster. 12 men took about 5 hours to pitch our tent this past Tuesday. Including the ride to and from Webster, they put in full 8-hour days. The crew includes men from Brazil, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, and a man from Poland with whom Ron talked in Polish. Most of the crew is temporary employees who are laid off once the busy seasons are over. Some have worked for Ron for many years, remembering pitching our tent before the East Building even existed. Others began just last week. Members of the crew bring different skills to the job. Ron and Joe try to have all members of the crew as diverse in their skills as possible so everyone knows how to do everyone else's job to some extent. Companies pitch tents in different ways. Ron and Joe measure first to get the tent square, using diagonal dimensions and some math and geometry. They mark with paint where the stakes and poles go. They put down drop cloths to protect the fabric. Each section costs about $12,000. Then unfold the sections and lace them together. Next, starting with the corners, they raise the tent. The intensity of the work requires Ron and Joe to protect their workers from injury and burnout. Wherever possible, they use equipment, such as a forklift to unload trucks, carry baskets of straps and stakes, and raise the poles. On Tuesday, they used 2 jackhammers and an air compressor to drive the stakes 42 inches into the ground. Many components make up our tent, but they're interchangeable, and they don't stay together for every job. Pieces of our tent today have come from a loggers festival in Bangor, Maine, and several commencements, including graduations at Assumption College, Emmanuel College, Harvard University, the University of Massachusetts at Boston, and Westfield State College. Our students transfer to all of these places, so some of you might see this tent, or at least parts of it, again in a few years. Spring and fall are the big seasons for tents like ours. In the fall, pieces of our tent will be used on Cape Cod at Scallop and Cranberry Harvest Festivals and at a multiple sclerosis bike-a-thon. As I mentioned earlier, our tent is still just a temporary shelter. It will move around frequently and temporarily shelter many people for a variety of occasions. While we may take it for granted, many people have contributed to its design, development, fabrication, maintenance, and installation. We should not take their contributions for granted. We should recognize and appreciate their efforts to make our ceremony possible today. In addition to Ron and Joe's crew of 12, 19 men from the physical plant department here at GCC participated in making our ceremony possible. Under the direction of John Markwell, who in 3 weeks will retire after 38 years at GCC, these men arranged the 1,500 stairs that you and our guests are sitting on, constructed the 2 ramps you will walk on to receive your diplomas, installed the electrical and sound systems that amplify our voices, moved the furniture from various parts of the campus to the stage, and mowed the lawn underneath us. Many of these men worked outside of their normal job responsibilities to ensure our comfort and enjoyment of this ceremony. While you may have seen these men around campus often, I'll bet you don't know their names and have rarely, if ever, talked with them. Nevertheless, they deserve our recognition and appreciation too. Please join me in applauding. Thank you. Just as our tent provides us with temporary shelter this afternoon, Greenfield Community College has provided you a temporary shelter over the past few years. The truth is, we all move from one temporary shelter to another throughout our lives. Now, as you plan to move from the temporary shelter of GCC to another, think of all the people who have contributed to providing you shelter here. You know, sometimes when I walk through the main building, I notice individual bricks in the walls, and I imagine the hands of the mason who laid those bricks and trim the mortar so quickly and skillfully. I appreciate the care taken in constructing those walls. I wonder what that mason may have thought about the future students who would spend so much time inside them. As President Pura suggested earlier, you might think of the people who currently work here, who have contributed to providing shelter for you. Was there somebody in student services, the bookstore, Cafe Academia, or the library who made a difference for you? I hope we have provided a good shelter for you here. I'm certain, too, that there were others outside the GCC community who contributed to your shelter. As Bob said earlier, I'm thinking now of parents or partners, children or friends whose support was crucial to keep you going on the path to your certificates and degrees. Please, don't take their support for granted and acknowledge their importance to your achievements. At the outset, I ask you to look up. Think about what you saw. In the future, think too of the people who will provide you shelter in the next legs of your journeys. If you are transferring to another college, staff in the admission or registrar's office, buildings and grounds, health services, or public safety may contribute to a smooth transition or help you feel welcome and supported at your new school. If you're going to work, your new colleagues, staff in human resources, or payroll, or custodians may help orient you and feel a part of your new workplace. If your plans are uncertain at this time, family, friends, faculty, and staff at GCC may help you through to the next leg of your journey. Whoever they are, recognize and appreciate their contributions to your success, even though you may never see or talk with them. None of us make this journey alone. And just as you rely on shelter provided by others, may you also provide temporary shelter for someone else who will rely on you for shelter. Often the best, and perhaps the only way to adequately thank those who have provided shelter for you is for you to provide shelter for others when it's your turn. In doing so, you perpetuate and strengthen the infinite ties that inescapably bind us together. Opportunities for helping to provide both literal and figurative shelter for others are plentiful in our communities. Be ready when it's your turn. Only through our dependence on one another do we truly thrive in this world. Thank you for your attention. Welcome to this ceremony. Congratulations on your achievements and best wishes for your futures.
Congratulations, graduates, and I'm seeing something different when I look up now. My name is Terry Boyce, and it is my honor and my privilege to introduce you to your student speaker today. Laura J. Thorne was born in Montague, Mass. As a youngster, she lived in Putney, Vermont, and attended the Kern Hatton School in Westminster from 3rd grade through 7th. In the 9th grade, she attended Greenfield High, later transferring to Turners Falls. She received her GED in 1992, testing right here at GCC. In an effort to determine her field of interest, Laura began taking courses at GCC and continued to do so on and off for about 5 years. During this time, she was an integral member of the Activities Council, which coordinates, plans, and runs campus events. She attended several conferences sponsored by the National Association for Campus Activities. Laura learned about the inner workings of the college by accepting work-study positions in the library, the bookstore, and the Academic Affairs Office. She also represented the student body on an outside search committee seeking references for Ira Rubensall, who was then our Vice President of Academic Affairs and Student Support. In addition to her work on the Activities Council, she assisted other students by tutoring them, especially those whose first language was not English. Graduating in 1997 with associate degrees in both management and marketing, Laura was the recipient of the Charles Green Award, given for outstanding leadership in co-curricular activities and awarded at the commencement ceremony. After graduating from GCC, she came to work at the college as a Clerk 3 in the Financial Aid Office from 1999 to 2000. Laura married and moved with her husband and their 2 children to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where she worked at the Oak Ridge National Laboratories. Laura moved back to the area in 2006 and began working at Franklin County Housing and Regional Redevelopment Authority, which provides affordable housing and community development services to the 26 Franklin County towns, where she holds the title of Administrative Services Coordinator. At present, Laura is a divorced single mother of 3 daughters and is the very proud grandmother of 3-month-old Angel. She is a member of the GCC Alumni Association, town meeting member for the town of Montague, and a member of the Fraternal Order of Eagles, number 2758, Women's Auxiliary. Ms. Thorne came back to GCC in 2008, this time with a very specific goal in mind: to earn a liberal arts degree, transfer to a 4-year college, attend law school, and become an immigration attorney. Laura Thorne is well on her way to achieving her dream. Today, she graduates with her liberal arts degree. She has been accepted and will attend the University of Massachusetts Legal Studies program in the fall. Graduates, friends, and family, representing the GCC graduating class of 2009, please join me in welcoming a very dedicated and determined student, Laura J. Thorne.
On behalf of the graduating class of 2009, I would like to begin by saying thank you to the faculty and staff here at Greenfield Community College, and to all of our families and friends for their guidance and support throughout our time here at GCC. I would like to take a moment to thank my mom, my daughter Mercedes, and her partner Julio. I don't know what I would have done without you all. To my daughters, Madison and Christina Lynn, for their patience while I read several chapters of text to them aloud and shushed them repeatedly while I tried to focus on the many papers I had to complete. To Robin Sherman and Joan Bernstein, my supervisors at work, for giving me the time needed to complete this phase on my new path, and for all my coworkers for their understanding and their support while I was unavailable to them both in body and in mind. Meryl, thank you. And finally, for my dad, although he's no longer with us, his unending faith in my ability to complete my accomplishments or the things I set out to achieve will be with me all of my life. When I first came to GCC, I was young and incredibly unsure of myself. I knew I needed to further my education, but I had no idea what I wanted to do with myself. So I first matriculated as a liberal arts student. It seemed a logical place to start. Then I decided I wanted to be a psychologist for a short time before I decided I wanted to go into business for myself. As a result of the commitment of this educational community to furthering not only education but personal development, I was given the opportunity to find out what I really wanted to do, the encouragement to try new things, and the flexibility to change my mind. I had my first true work experiences through the work-study program that helped me develop a stronger sense of responsibility. My involvement with student life gave me a real sense of connection to the many facets at GCC and an understanding of the value of the investment in people. I truly believe my entire journey not only broadened my horizons and expanded my way of thinking, but I am proud to say I grew up here and still am able to draw from those experiences today. For years, 11 of them to be exact, I thought about returning to school. There was always something else that seemed more pressing: work, kids, time. It wasn't until I heard a quote by author George Eliot that I finally made up my mind. She said, "It is never too late to be what you might have been." I knew I could come back here to Greenfield Community College and find the answers I was looking for and the guidance to get started. So here I am, having found a new direction, back in a place that feels like home, where my name is remembered even after all of this time, my goals are supported and today fulfilled. While some of the faces have changed, the unwavering commitment that I found the first time is still fully evident today. As I was writing this speech, I contemplated what I might say that would be inspirational. Everything sounded so cliche. That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Where there's a will, there's a way. Tomorrow is another day. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. So instead, let me share this with you. On whatever course you select for yourself after today, when you are discouraged and think, what's the point? Look toward your goal. Then look back at where you started. See and realize how far you've come from that place. You've already done the hard part by committing to the act of moving forward. Look then again toward your horizon and know that your goal is not so far away. Congratulations, class of 2009, on a job well done. Thank you.
Greetings to all assembled here today, and congratulations to the class of 2009. Your achievements are considerable. By steadfastly putting one foot in front of the other, you have made your way to this moment, a moment of recognition and celebration of all your hard work. Congratulations. Now I have the extraordinary privilege of conferring the title of Emeritus upon Dr. David Johnson in recognition of his 38 years of outstanding contribution to teaching, scholarship, and general service to the GCC Community College and to the greater Franklin County community. Many years ago, you, Dr. David Johnson, began your journey just as the graduates of 2009 are beginning theirs. Just like them, you too put one foot in front of the other and steadfastly moved towards your first degree, the Associates of Art from a community college. I imagine that two important questions guided your journey at that time. What worthy work might you do in this world? And what additional skills and knowledge might you need to acquire to do this worthy work well? For you, the first question, the answer was to teach college students, first in psychology and later in the Korean martial arts, providing GCC students with a rare opportunity to be taught by you, an internationally recognized Taekwondo master, the third master of a master in the Korean martial arts. Did you know that you have taught approximately 5,000 students?
Did not.
There you have it. Remember the trivia. In addition, when you arrived here in the spring of 1971 as part of a brand new program to help students achieve greater college success, you helped to establish the GCC Learning Center, a center that thrives and continues to grow and evolve under your sustained commitment to consult and help all involved with the GCC Learning Center. And the answer to the second question, what additional skills and knowledge might you need to acquire to do this worthy work well, prompted you to continue your journey, again, putting one foot in front of the other to earn the following degrees: the Bachelor's of Art, the Master's of Science, the Certificate of Advanced Graduate Study, the Doctorate of Psychology, and most recently, postdoctorate study and certification in advocacy and psychopharmacology. You alone orchestrated the largest single contribution to Franklin County's Warm the Children's campaign, a campaign that provides over 1,000 children with warm winter clothing in the wintertime. You have faithfully served on numerous college committees. Each and every day you've arrived at GCC steadfast and optimistic in your commitment to do good work here at this college. And now, because this is an academic setting, and because I want to be sure that you graduates all have one last chance for quiz, as well as everyone in the audience, you're all invited to participate in the following quiz. Please raise your hand and keep it raised if you can answer yes to any of the following questions. Have you at any time, past or present, taken a psychology course with Dr. David Johnson? Please raise your hands. Thank you. Keep them raised. Have you at any time, past or present, taken a Taekwondo course with Dr. David Johnson? Raise your hands and keep them raised. Have you at any time, past or present, been advised by Dr. David Johnson? Have you at any time, past or present, served on a committee with Dr. David Johnson? Have you at any time ever contributed to the Warm the Children Fund in Franklin County? Look around, David. See your influence rippling out across people here and know that your influence extends beyond this tent and beyond this moment. You, Dr. David Johnson, have made GCC a better place, and we thank you. Dr. David Johnson, it is my greatest honor to confer upon you the title Professor Emeritus.
In the last couple of weeks, I've been very reflective and nostalgic and trying to decide if I was going to say anything or not. And ultimately, I decided I couldn't leave without saying something. However, it's very simple for me to be short. It's not always easy for me to be brief. So I'm going to make an effort to be very brief. A couple of things come to mind. I was thinking, well, those of you that have suffered through my classes, I could allude to my make-believe daughter, Spike, that I refer to in class all the time, or I could remind you that you're the epitome of electrochemical neurophysiological information processing systems, or I could go on endlessly, and I decided not to do that. But to try and work it in somehow. What I wanted to say is this, is that in thinking about this, it's partially real for me, and it's not real at this point. But I suspect it soon will be. I've been here a long time, about 38 years. And part of it has truly been work. No doubt about it. But my classes have not been work. I've been very fortunate. I say it to my classes regularly. I'm always taken aback by the enthusiasm, by the scholarly nature, and all the resources that everyone has. You're a very unique bunch of people and have been for 38 years and will continue to be so. That part has never been work. So I don this hard hat for that reason, to say thank you for the part that has not been work. It's a pleasure to have spent time with you, and I'm very appreciative of that. As I thought about this today, I was thinking, well, this is the second of the two greatest honors that GCC could ever provide me with. The first was 2006, when I was asked to be the commencement speaker. I was very touched by that, and it was an honor greater than I certainly deserve. This is the second, that you would confer emeritus status on me. So I thank you all very much. So the first reason I don this hat is for the part that was work. But as I thought about coming here, and I thought about the students, I was thinking, well, when I came here, I had a lot of college degrees and a great deal of knowledge. But then as I was here for a time, the hunger, the motivation, the questioning, the enthusiasm in the classroom oftentimes provoked questions I didn't have the answers to. And I found myself thinking, why don't I know that? So I made it a point to find out. So you have always been instrumental in my personal growth. So I thank you for that as well. And I have one other vote of thanks. The hard hat says Johnson. It's not David Johnson, it's Richard Johnson's hat. Now, Richard Johnson was married to Leah Johnson. They had 2 sons. The youngest is Daniel. Now, I spoke to him this morning. He thinks he's possibly the second funniest man he knows. I know that I am the funniest man I know. But as he knew I was coming today, he called me. He's doing some training. He works for the government and possibly will have to go to the Mideast in the near future. But he called me this morning to make it a point to sing me a little tune. And after about 3 bars of Emeritus, I reassured him he was still the second funniest man I know. So I would like to say to you, each and every one, I would like to say to all of the administration and certainly all the students that have come before and all the students will come again, I thank you very much. Hopefully, for me, I will never know, but I hope that I've given you something. I hope that I've provided you with something useful, not just grades, but something that really will be helpful for you in the future. You will always have a very special place in my heart, and in behalf of myself, and Richard, and Leah, and Daniel, thank you.
Congratulations, graduate. I'm Peter Rosnick. I'm the Interim Associate Dean for Math, Science, Business, and Information Technology, and it's my great honor to grant the Emeritus Award to Norman Muller. So, President Obama was asked to give the commencement address at Arizona State University a few weeks ago. And under those circumstances, it's usually the custom that the university will grant the honoree, sort of an honorary degree. But for whatever reason, the board of the Arizona State University said that they're not going to do that, and they said Obama's body of work is yet to come. So when Obama addressed the university crowd, he sort of approached that head on, and he said this: "I come here not to dispute the suggestion that I haven't yet achieved enough in my life. I come to embrace it, to heartily concur, to affirm that one's title says very little about how well one's life has been led, and that no matter how much you've done or how successful you have been, there's always more to do, there's more to learn, more to achieve." Of course, this is a message that all of us could learn from, but why the heck do I raise this in the context of granting the honor of Professor Emeritus to Norman Muller? To explain the connection, I must go back to September of 1974, 35 years ago. That's when Norman started. That's when he was hired to teach. What were the courses that he was teaching then? Typing 1, Typing 2, Typing 3, Typing 4, Shorthand 1. Does anybody know what shorthand is? Shorthand 2, Stenography, Office procedures, which I understand included how to pour tea and stuff like that. It was a whole host of courses, none of which are offered here anymore. Norman came 35 years ago. He had his degree in hand. He landed a good job. This is a good job. And he could have had the attitude that his body of work was done. But that's not what happened. As I said in an event honoring Norman's retirement a couple of weeks ago, I can think of no faculty person who has had to reinvent himself as many times as Norman has. Now he is professor of business and computer and information technology. Many of you, I'm sure, have taken computer science classes with Norman. Norman has had to retrain himself like no other person I can imagine coming to GCC. With the advent of computers, over and over again, he had to redevelop his syllabi and what he has provided for his students. There haven't been 2 years that have gone by where Norman doesn't have to learn a new version of software, adapt to a new text, remake the course so that what students get is current and useful. When the college went to a computer-based administrative system, the entire college wanted to revolt. Norman was one of the people who guided us, who led us, who supported us in the introduction of this system called Banner. For this, and for his willingness to step in all kinds of situations when help was needed, administratively, teaching for his department unanimously recommended that the college has conferred the honor of Professor Emeritus to Norman Muller.
I have only a few things to say. Number one, congratulations to the class of 2009. And it's been my pleasure for the past 35 years to be here. And thank you very much.
Robert Yakubian began working at GCC in 1971 and retired in 1998. Very few who have worked at GCC have done more to lift our students' aspirations. Few have done more to help students achieve their dreams. Ask an alumnus to list those faculty and staff at GCC who have had a profound impact on their lives, and Rob Yakubian will be on that list. Just in the past 4 days, truly just in the past 4 days, I have heard from Judith Roberts, Ira Mitchell, Sandy Staub, and I've heard a list of others who identified Rob as key and instrumental in their success. In fact, Sandy Staub, an attorney, said that her journey from GCC to Amherst College to Yale Law was directly attributed to Rob Yakubian. Lives change for the better every day at GCC, and Rob is one of the reasons. He worked tirelessly and passionately for students and for GCC every day during his 27 years. Rob's contributions have been substantial and extensive and will have an enduring impact on the quality of the campus. Graduates, colleagues, and guests, I am therefore pleased to announce the creation of the Robert Yakubian Distinguished Service Award. Greenfield Community College will make this award, usually annually, to retiring individuals who have distinguished themselves through the value and degree of service to the college community. Award recipients will have consistently demonstrated exceptional dedication to the advancement of the mission and principles of the college. The substantial and extensive contributions of these individuals will have an enduring impact on the quality of the college. Rob, would you please come forward? Rob, the Rob Yakubian Distinguished Service Award is developed in honor of the teaching and the learning that existed at this college in and out of the classroom. It's a reflection of your lifetime commitment throughout your career to our students and their success. You have made will have an enduring impact on the college, therefore, I am pleased to announce that the first recipients of the Rob Yakubian Distinguished Service Award are Larry Dean and John Markwell. Rob, would you do the honors for Larry? And Richard Hillier, who will retire this summer after 13 years of dedication to our college as Dean of Administration, will present the award to John Markwell. So John, would you come up with Richard?
Congratulations to all the graduates. Let me tell you about John as the person I have been able to get to know over the years. A person who really, really, really tries at times to make it really, really hard to get to know. Here is what I have discovered. Nothing in here is embarrassing, John. He is a loving and caring husband, father, grandfather. He loves nature, all of God's creations, maybe except for one certain white goose who lives at the duck pond, who he almost strangled about 5 years ago. And for many years, he would bring warm smiles and happiness to those who received the beautiful flowers which he and the grounds crew dispersed on campus each spring. You see, John has always been about keeping the college together. His first allegiance is to the college collective and not to the hierarchy. And he basically tells you that from the start. His common sense approach to challenges, the ways in which he presents and supports his position on a variety of issues, and the ways he follows through in implementing decisions has always stood out in my mind in a positive way. He is a man for all seasons. In the winter, he plows ahead with his band of merry men, Al, Joe, Tim, and company, Never once in 13 years I've ever had to second-guess John on his recommendations, which come about from his watchful observations starting not later than 4 a.m. He always looks out for the crew with coffees and donuts during those bleak, dark, early morning endeavors. In the spring, along with his well-grounded crew, he helps to bring the campus back to life with new plantings and fresh clippings, along with the traditional fastidiousness surrounding graduation. He and his staff's, quote, holiday present to the college and the community. Summer brings projects and the traditional cleaning chores. One summer presented John with the opportunity to leave a lasting mark on the college and take the path most traveled. He ensured that the rebuilding of One College Drive was a first-class endeavor, both in terms of quality and longevity. He was unrelenting in ensuring that every aspect of the project was completed according to Hoyle. In the fall, the many requests to set up rooms, clean up after folks, cover for some folks who just couldn't seem to plan ahead, move this stuff here and that stuff there begins. He and his staff will certainly be missed in these endeavors. Ask some folks on campus, and they'll tell you there are things John has done to make the college run smoothly that most do not have any idea takes place. So, in a nutshell, John in many ways is what the college is all about. Service to the community in ways which are not always understood or of which folks are unaware, but which are always seen by others as essential to supporting the mission of GCC. John, the best to you and Marty in your retirement years.
Thank you. Are we on? Just want to say congratulations and carry on. It's a long road, but it gets more interesting you further down it. Thank you.
These are student awards, are missing. Yay. Okay, and John, liberal arts is missing. The first one is liberal arts English. In recognition of excellence in English, Nicole Capice. We weren't going to give you anything. Congratulations. Donald Oberacker, Liberal Arts Science Award. The award is given to a 2009 graduate who has demonstrated outstanding academic achievement and commitment to the study of science. This year, the award goes to Cynthia Faith. Cynthia? Okay. This next one is always a favorite award for what it is, and I hope you all pay attention. So this is the Art Department. Art Department Medici Award, or Medici. In Florence, by the way, it's Medici. So here we go. In the tradition of the Renaissance, artists were builders. It is in that spirit that the Medici Award is made to the graduating students whose growth has been characterized not only by the aesthetic sensibility, but by curiosity, energy, and the cooperative spirit of the studio. In awarding a tool, there's the clue. In awarding a tool that can be used to earn a living and to build a dream, the Greenfield Community College art faculty are proud to make the presentation to students who will know how to use it. This year, the winners are Sarah Morse, Sean Treadwell. you go. And these are falling all over the place. This is for Sean. This is for Sarah.
Thank you.
This is for you. Congratulations. Mwah. Mwah. Business administration. For excellence in business administration, here we go. Tigran Erpetian and Victoria Frederick. Congratulations, Victoria. Good work. And you too, Tigran. How did I do on your name? Yaha. Early childhood education. For excellence in early childhood education and the education of young children, Danielle Galbraith. Congratulations. And the nurses. For excellence in nursing care, Kevin Maple. Well, congratulations, Kevin. We're proud of you. Now there's just a few extra awards. First is an International Student Award. Greenfield Community College recognizes the achievement of its bilingual graduates. They have completed their graduation requirements in English, which is not their native language, and we congratulate them all on this special day. The International Student Scholastic Achievement Award is given to students who have risen above the language and culture differences to join the college community and complete their programs of study successfully. This gentleman is coming up again, Tigran. I'm looking at his last one, Erpetian, and he is from Russia. And then we have Elizabeth Gadai from Kenya. Elizabeth, wrong one. Elizabeth, congratulations. Mwah. And congratulations again. And I didn't get any The peer tutoring program would like to recognize its peer tutors and lab assistants who are graduating today for their contributions to Greenfield Community College and their commitment to helping students achieve academic success. As I say your name, please just rise, remain standing until all of your names have been called, and we will give you a wonderful round of applause of appreciation. Danny Abbott, Cheryl Doobie, Chris Garand, Michelle Kelton, Lindsay Pelk, Kelly Wilkie. Oh, here we go. Tigran, you get one of these too? Tigran, Victoria Frederick, Elizabeth Gadai, and Kevin Maple. Thank you. I think we'll have Tigran just come up on stage and stay here. Make him part of the platform party. Here we go. Phi Theta Kappa. Gold tassels and hoods represent membership in Phi Theta Kappa, the two-year college National Honor Society. Will the members of Phi Theta Kappa please rise now and remain in place so that we can give you a wonderful round of applause. Phi Theta Kappa. You will notice that many of the Phi Theta Kappans are wearing gold tassels along with their GCC RID tassels. Some of them have their gold hood as well. And here we go, the last ones. Student Life. The Charles Green Award is presented to graduating students for leadership in co-curricular and development of the college community. The award is named for the first assistant to the president of Greenfield Community College. And the award winners, please, when you hear your name, come on up. Caitlin Freed, Brandon Margay, Molly Porter, Samuel King, and Jacob Miner. Brandon, congratulations. You surprised you, Miss Molly? We surprised you. Mwah. Congratulations. And Sam. Is Jacob not here? Sam. Jacob's not here. I got scared. I was in total denial. Oh, congratulations. The last award, here we go. This is called the Walter M. Taylor Award. And this is what it's presented for. It's presented to a member or members of the faculty or staff or administration who has given outstanding leadership in the development of co-curricular activities. This award is named for the first president of the college, who of course was Walter Taylor. This year's recipient is an amazing person. She assists us with student senate elections. She's always there to take emergency messages for students. If Student Life has to close because we can't be there, she takes every message and makes sure that we get it immediately. She watches out over the safety of the entire campus. She gives messages to all students in distress if necessary. She assists public safety in all of their needs. It's my great pleasure to award this to Cindy Peterson. It's now my great pleasure to introduce to you Regina Curtis. She is presently our Director of Development, but is the longtime president of the GCC Alumni Association. Regina.
So I do bring you greetings from the Alumni Association, and I'm very pleased to do that as the president. I'm from the class of 1986. And I also bring you some propaganda to encourage you to join the Alumni Association if you might give it your consideration. And when you come up to get your diploma, I will be handing you some gifts, including a GCC lapel pin and this beautiful GCC Alumni Association calendar, which features 12 alum every year. This is our fourth one. 12 alum every year who are just amazing. This year we have an engineer, a pilot, an architect, an artist, and a member of your graduating class who has a 4.0 GPA, Tigran Arapatayan. I don't know what he is. Looks like he's Mr. May. Be sure and look out for him. Yes. And as you will see in the story of these alums right here when you get your calendar, the whole thing about whether a community college is good enough or whether we're good enough, it's a bunch of hooey. And it's addressed head-on by writer Marianne Williamson, who wrote the following words that really resonate for me, and I hope they will for you also. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We are all meant to shine, and as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. So I'm sorry, as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So I'm saying to you now, go shine. Light up the world, but please stay in touch. And congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
I am now pleased to introduce to you the chair of our Board of Trustees, Tim Farrell. Tim is new to the position. Actually, Tim had his first meeting, I think it was like 3-4 weeks ago, and people were really taken with his commitment to being brief and his commitment to efficiency in his meetings. So let me introduce to you Tim Farrell, the chair of our Board of Trustees, who will bring remarks from the board as well as to confer your degrees. Tim?
I do have a reputation of being very brief. I've always lived by the motto, we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. You know, we've got a beautiful day here today, surrounded by friends and family. The class of 2009 getting ready to graduate as soon as I read this short paragraph. Kids out playing, good weather. The Red Sox overtook the Yankees. We're a half game up on them in American League East. So let's get to it. The next game started about a half hour ago. By the authority vested in me by the Massachusetts Department of Higher Education under Chapter 15A, Section 8 and 22 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth, I, Timothy Farrell, Chair of the Board of Trustees of Greenfield Community College, am honored to award the Associates in Art and the Associate in Science degrees and certificates to those candidates who, in the judgment of the college, have successfully met the requirements for graduation. Congratulations.
Associate in Arts and Liberal Arts, Fabio Abedemi Afalabi. Katrina Aiken with honors. Ginia Marie Arce. Jacob W. Billings. Risha Jean Blanchard. Thomas Blinn. Stephen Block with honors. Paris Roxanne Gali Bovin with honors. Cole A. Belanger with honors. Adam Aldrich Bourbeau. Jade Nicole Burek with honors. Allie K. Burrow. Sandra W. Campbell with honors. Janelle E. Cannoneer. Jacqueline Cardinalis. Andrea Jean Chialik. Seth W. Cooper. Christina Aline Crocker. Carrie Ann Croto. Charles Emma. Cynthia Faith with honors. Caitlin Chelsea Freed. Paula Ann Gagnon with honors. Andriana Rose Garcia with honors. Alice Taylor Gear with honors. Teresa E. Haskins Class. Samantha Marie Howe. Winter Howland. Marcella Maxine Jane with honors. Andrew Wright Kahn. Nicole Ellie Capice with honors. Ilana Casal. Kay Devin Kelleher. Benjamin A. Kenyon. Katie May Kidder. Samuel Francis Burton King. Lindsay Nicole Lawton. Corinna Lee Laterno with honors. Aller LaRue Loftfield. James Peter McPherson. Marlon Marshall Goldstein. Kyle E. Mimitz. Kylie S. Mimitz. Jacob Rick Miner. Sarah E. Morin. Caitlin Wood Nimzik. Alicia Nicole Nutter with honors. Joan M. Peters. Ashani Patrizzi with honors. Kenneth E. Purington. Melissa Ann Rowe. William A. Sadowski. Andrea Shea with honors. May Leah Rodriguez Spence with honors. Alexandria Sullivan. Eileen Ray Thompson. Laura J. Thorne. Christy Myers Tracy with honors. Linda Turati. Avis A. Vescovi with honors. Jeffrey M. Vilbon. Will Vera Vlasenko please come up on stage? Vera Vlasenko, Student Affairs Administrative Assistant, will confer the diploma upon her son, Alexander Vlasenko. Kelly D. Wilkie with honors. Cassandra K. Williams. Lauren Nicole Zellman. Associate in Arts, Business Administration transfer. Tigran Erepetian with honors. Steve Bradley. Matthew Calcari. Will Tom Frederick please come up on stage? Tom Frederick, Associate Professor of Accounting, will confer the diploma upon his daughter, Victoria Jean Meyer Frederick, with honors. Molly Davis Porter. Associate in Science and Accounting, Cindy Barth. Wendy Mullen with honors. Associate in Science, Computer Information Systems, Elizabeth Ann Waramu Gede with honors. Allison Keppel with honors. Associate in Science Management, Gordon Lovelace with honors. Associate in Science Office Management, Jennifer R. Gray with honors. Also, Microsoft Office Applications and Office Assistant Certificates. Caitlin M. Robinson with honors. Associate in Science, Art, Fine Art, Max T. Mammarella. Brandon Margay. Sean William Treadwell, Jr., also Associate in Science, Arts, Media Arts. Associate in Science, Art, Media Arts, Danny L. Abbott, Jr. Kristen Garand. Sarah Grace Morse with honors. Associate in Science in Criminal Justice, Lisa A. Bolegani. Christian James Fink. Chance Miles Moore. Victor Placenta. Cassandra Polachek. Brian J. Reardon. Associate in Science, Early Childhood Education, Patricia Champagne. Danielle Galbraith. Shannon C. Gutkowski. Melissa Sue Prue with honors. Julie A. Sweet with honors. Associate in Science, Engineering Science, Casey Wolf with honors. Associate in Science, Nursing, Pavel Angelchev. Amanda M. Arsenal. Jason Lee Bartlett. David James Beckwith. Jennifer Jean Delaney. Cheryl A. Doobie. Mary Ellen Feidenkevitz please come up on stage? Mary Ellen Feidenkevitz, Associate Professor of Science, will confer the diploma upon her daughter, Jacqueline Feidenkevitz. Luis Fernando Gutierrez. Would Mary Phillips please come up on stage? Mary Phillips, a clinical nursing adjunct faculty, will confer the diplomas upon her sister, Michelle A. Kelton, also Associate Arts and Liberal Arts. Michelle. Kirsten Kathleen Kennedy. Will Charlie Kleberg please come up on stage? Charlie Kleberg, computer specialist, will confer the diploma upon his wife, Sadie K. Kleberg. Suzanne R. Love. Kevin Maple. Alicia A. Martineau. Kelly McAllister. Erin McQuillan. Sarah Mimitz. Natasha Newell. Lindsay Pelk with honors, also Associate Arts and Liberal Arts with honors. David A. Peliquin with honors. Lorianne Rayum with honors. Tanya Rudenko. Florian Coco Schachtel with honors. Jonathan L. Woolley. Elena Ashley Zellman. Associate in Science, Occupational Technology, William Grampy Gallant with honors. Certificate in Human Services, Peter Smith. Certificate Licensure for Early Childhood Educators, Emily A. Peters. Certificate Paramedic, Christine Margaret Watt Barfit. I give you all the class of 2009.
You can now officially, if you haven't already, please move your tassel. You've earned that. There will be the tradition of GCC to have faculty and staff create an area for you to walk through. And again, that's a moment for us to say thank you to you and to congratulate you. On behalf of all of the college, on behalf of your family, we wish you all the very best. And we'll now have a recessional, and good luck to all of you. Congratulations.